Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to another edition of Stormybman's Boxing Raps for this Thursday, September 9th, 2021. We're having this show as a special fill-in because the three wise men of boxing would not be able to air tonight due to both the brothers Kurt Sugar and Scrapbook Boxing dealing with circumstances of health nature on both ends. So first and foremost, let's send well wishes out to our brothers that they come around from what they're dealing with, each dealing with their own circumstance. And as a family, we want to extend blessings and heartfelt feelings their way, that they get over their circumstances as well, speedily. I thought that I would go ahead and take the opportunity to still present a live stream this evening. I know we have a regular viewing audience, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to, still let us come together and still hold these brothers up in our minds, hearts, and prayers. So with that being said, please keep them in your thoughts. When I created this particular show of boxing raps, it's just an opportunity to come together and talk boxing, sometimes with a panel of guests, and then sometimes it'll be just myself, or it might be just one or two guests, but it's still with keeping the subject of boxing out there, keeping our thoughts on the sport, and sometimes great things can come of that. Sometimes when the brothers are out there in the chats and stuff, we might want to even invite them on, for a go of conversation or whatever. But I do have some things I would like to talk about this evening, and we'll, take our time and get through this. I'll acknowledge the chat as much as I can. This particular show will be subscribers only participating in the chat. So whether we have 3 or 30 or more, that's what it'll be. You know what I mean? And Stormy likes to keep it respectful, and that's the way it's always gonna be. So let me welcome who's out there so far in the chat. We got Woke the Truth, who's out there before the show aired. Salute to you, Woke. And Big Homie Coop is out once again, says, salute Seafood, backsmack the like button, people, and class is in session, so pay attention. You know it. Salute to Big Homie Coop. And Mike 202 channel member is out there, says, blessings Sensei, and to Kurt and Scrap as well, prayers. World Combat Sports says, good evening, Stormy B-Man and Chat Battalion. Yes, sir. World Combat Sports, good to see you out there as well. And I haven't forgotten, I talked to you about doing a collab for the In the Eye of the Storm. So I'm going to have to get with you on that, Scotty, to get your, information so we can hook that up for a date in the future. I know this Saturday we got Trick Noty coming up on In the Eye of the Storm. So Stormy be making the rounds, you know what I'm saying? And we do our thing. And Scotty, if you haven't had a chance to check out some of those past segments of In the Eye of the Storm, the most recent we did part 1 and 2 with Divine Sense Boxing. It turned out very well. We had tremendous conversation, got a chance to learn a lot about Divine Sense Boxing and what his take and angle is on the sport, and that's a very good brother to have out there doing what he does on his channel. So salute to Divine Sense. And we got my man Curtis Price is out there. He says, right on. Yes, sir. Good to see you out there, Curtis. Glad you're here, bro. A lot of things going on in the sport of boxing, and can't cover it all tonight, but there's some kind of iffy things happening, and there's some exciting things happening. And being the way that I am, the iffy can wait a little bit, but I want to open up talking about something that's on the horizon, very nearly on the horizon. Matter of fact, you can say that next week we've got something special taking place, and that's where we're going to see the brother Tay Jones, the Golden Warrior. He's having a match next, I think that's Thursday the 16th, in Atlanta. The brother Tay Jones, who also has a channel out here, and you guys all know brother Tay Jones. Hey man, he's getting back in the ring. The Golden Warrior, next Thursday, a week from tonight. And I told him that if you give me the information and everything, I will make certain that I promote what you got going on, brother. So, and the good news is Tay says that he's going to have a link to share. So anybody that's not in Atlanta that can't get a ticket to the event, and he said last night on his live stream, he still has tickets. So if you're there or nearby and can get there to check the brother out, please show that love and support for the Golden Warrior, man. He's coming on like gangbusters, and we as a community have to, keep that united front and support him. But he said he will have a link and for the broadcast, so I'll be looking forward to that. And maybe if we can speak on it, behind the scenes or whatever, we can work something out where we can get, everybody to be able to lay some eyes on the brother Tay as he has another outing in the ring. I see you out there, Healer, Mind, Body, and Coach. That's my man Focus Ball. And I know I had you modded as Focus Ball, but you weren't modded on here. So I just modded you up there, Focus Ball. And as I spoke to you in the chat earlier today, if you are interested in joining me this evening, Focus Ball, you're more than welcome, brother, because I did see you still have your account on the OBS in Discord. I'm sorry, Discord, not OBS, Discord. And if you are interested, you still have that link on Discord and you can join me. So I'm extending that invitation to Focus Ball if you want to join me. And I see you on there on the on my friend page on Discord. So it says that yeah, it's under Healer. So, and I still got you modded there. So if you want, you're more than welcome. I see my man Curtis Anderson made it to the chat there. Salute to you, Kurt. Kurt Sugar's out there. People, show Kurt some love. Let him know that he is missed this evening, but he has to recover. The brother's going through a lot, and we need everyone to send positive prayers, vibes, and energy toward Kurt in this rough time for him. So keep him in. So, but yeah, the brother Tay Jones, man, I want to see Tay perform well. I want to see him get another victory under his belt. I've had a chance to study some of his fights on film, and I like his aggression. I like what he brings. And I'll tell you something. It's always good when you got family out there in the ring doing their thing, right? It make you feel good about yourself, make you feel good about them. And it's exciting. So, you know, but what I want to do is take a moment and show some clips for my man Tay. We're going to show a little bit of Tay action there. Let's see what we got here. While I talk, and you guys can check it out. You know what I mean? Got it in the background. Some clips of one of Tay's fight recently. This was a 4-rounder he participated in. And you can see he's taking on this guy by the last name Johnson. And the guy calling the fight kept calling Tay Johnson. You know what I mean? Got the names mixed up. But Tay was really working it out on this brother. And it's good to see him, you know, let those hands fly like he does. And turned out to be a successful outing for him. This was pretty good. Pretty cool seeing the brother do his thing out there.
Countered right back by Tay.
So
Tay Johnson coming forward.
We got Eric R out there, says salute Stormybman. Salute to you, Eric R. And he's saluting Kurt.
Trying to measure.
Junior Syriac is out there, says, what are some of your dream fights and who do you think would have won them? One of my dream fights are Matthew Saad Muhammad versus Arthur Bitterbeed. Who do you think would have won? Well, Junior, I'm not prone to turn this into a discussion on fantasy fights and things of that nature. I do have a slate of what I intend to talk about, just like you hear me saying right now. I'm promoting the brother Tay Jones in the community. He's got a fight coming up next week, and he deserves his day in the sun, just like a lot of these guys out here who don't deserve a day in the sun. Like you got this guy coming up tomorrow night that is a PED drug cheat. You know, and he's all over TV and everything, but I'm not even saying the name at this moment. I'll say the name when it's appropriate. But Junior, those type of questions, I'll try to answer them toward the end of the show, maybe like when we got about 30 minutes or so to go. But early on, I do want to open up promoting our brother, Tay Jones here. You know, as you see in these clips here, Tay has pretty decent hand speed. He's got pop on his shots, and his opponent wasn't looking to engage once he started letting those body shots go. The guy kept his hands home, and that is important. When you keep your hands home and the aggressor is able to get his shots off, as Tay was able to do, that shows a lot. You know what I mean? So it's good to see the brother doing his thing. And I put that on loop so we can see more of it. You know, it's one of his best, clearest clips, which is why I captured this one to show. But, you know, Tay looked like a shrunk down Roy Jones in there. He's little. He's a little brother, but he's got a big pop on those punches. My man Drew Titan LLC is out there. He says, yo, what's good with you, Drew? Good to see you, man. I don't know if you're working or if you're just listening in. But we're doing this show tonight. The brothers for the Three Wise Men were not able to contribute this evening due to each dealing with their own crisis. So Stormy just turned it into a live stream where we can go over some things such as this fight where our brother Tay Jones will be fighting next Thursday night and in Atlanta. And he's, you know, we got to show that support and love, you know. Eric R says, what weight is Mr. Jones competing at? Real Hill says, salute Stormy B. And Drew is saying, Eric R at 140. Yes, sir, at 140. So, but this is one of his best performances here because he was really letting them fly, man. had a chance to see a few of his fights.
Charles moving away.
And
Taking
some
the
highlights
right hand
of
to the body.
others.
Johnson throwing a clubbing left hand. But got nailed with the right from Tay. Tay Johnson landing a two-punch combination. Tay is going to the body. Tay Johnson again going to the body. Lands a counter left hand on the inside. The top with a quick counter right hand. He can get him in a lot of trouble. The right hand is the key.
But I would tell the brother Tay, man, I tell him, you know, tighten up those fists that are at home. Got to tighten that defense up just a little bit. Don't be so open, you know. Experienced fighters look for that. It's something that you can correct now. You go too far and then it becomes a bad habit. So let's see. We got yeah, that's the brother doing this thing. See, you got to respect a man that gets in there and does it, right? You got to. So, put his picture back up there. Yeah, so that'll be next Thursday. And this will be from the Rodwell. My vision is bad. I can't even say Buckhead Theater. And that's in Atlanta, Georgia. Next Thursday night. Check him out. So, good to see the brothers out there. And I hope you guys support him. If you haven't supported Tay Jones, man, he does a wonderful job with his own channel. And he's one of the fastest rising channels that I've seen out there. The brother is doing his thing. And he brings on fighters, too. You got to check out his interviews and his reviews with young prospects. He calls it, too. When he gets these guys out there on the channel to talk boxing, man, talk about their careers, he's doing a great thing with that. But salute, we got my man, Healer, mind-body coach out there, also known as Focus Ball. What's going on with you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, my brother. Feeling blessed. How about you?
I'm doing just fine. I'm glad to have you on, man. It's been a little bit since we've been on the air together. And you've been on with me before in the past. We have to make this a little more frequent and not put so much time in between. But you're doing some great stuff over there on your channel as well, man. You've got a lot going for you, brother. And I've been seeing your commercials out there. So that's great, man. You have to talk to me and let me know how I can get your commercials on my channel so I could play them, you know. Stormy don't mind. I'll promote you as well. You see, I'm promoting my man Tay Jones tonight. You know, I'm selfless like that, man. You know, I feel like that's the best way to be, man, when we can do these things and, you know, stick our neck out there for the other, you know, so people can see what's happening. I love that, man. It's nothing like networking.
Yes, sir. Honestly, if Chicago wasn't so cold, I'd be out there training with you.
It gets cold. You know, right now it's been a heck of a summer. It's like the weather here has been really unusual. Not too hot, not too much humidity, a little more rain, you know, than we would like. But hey, I'm not complaining, man. I'm not complaining. I see my man BFTB Boxing is out there. He says, "What up, Unc? What up with you, BFTB? Good to see you, bro."
Salute.
And we got Rashid Rourke out there. So before we start getting into some subjects here, Healer, again, like I said, and for the 100th time, I'm promoting Tay's fight for next week out there. That's why I got him up there on the screen. But you know, when we're able to support one another like this, it's very important, man. You know, we have a lot of listeners and viewers that join us, you know, from channel to channel. And sometimes, even though they may be familiar with us, it makes a different type of impression when they see us interacting and collaborating with one another. A lot of people don't understand the strength behind that type of union. When they see you and I together, and then they see me and BFTB or Blue Blood Sports or whatever, what happens is people develop that seed in their mind. It's like, this is like family, you know, and Drew Titan talks about that a lot. Shout out to Drew Titan. It's important to hold that type of accountability and responsibility. And you know, everybody is not one another's flavor, but at the same time, you have to have an appreciation for people who do what they do and do it well. You know what I mean? I can admire somebody's artistic creativity and, you know, leave it at that. There's no jealousy or nothing. I know if I want certain things, I go here. If I want other things, I go there or whatever. But that doesn't mean one is better than the other or least or less than the other. But it's important to be able to have that, because there was a time when we couldn't even do this at all. So it's a beautiful thing that the world has opened up like this. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. We definitely got to support each other. Not saying that because I want you all to go out and cop some focus balls, but it's like this. No one wants to go to an empty party. So when people see people supporting each other, it's like, oh, that's what we do, you know? You got to sort of create an example in a sense. So that's why I only put, the Black Gentleman's Grooming Company's, beard oil in my face.
Mm-hmm.
That's that kind of support, you know?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, normally in this time slot, The Three Wise Men is a show that goes 2 hours. And I may try to fill that time void with this broadcast. But it is an open topic show. I do have a couple of things that I would like to touch on, but it is an open topic show. And one of the things I wanted to get to, I had an email that had come in, and I'm trying to pull it up now. I had an email come in. Let's see. Well, I'm just seeing the email you sent me, Focus Ball. I'm just seeing it now because I've been sitting in front of my laptop preparing for today's show, but I'm still glad that you were able to get here, even though I wasn't able to respond. Okay, here it is. My email is from Michael Holland. He sent it to me early this morning, and he says, and salute to Michael Holland. He says, Stormy, how do you feel about the new videos of Wilder working in camp? Is it all a show, or do you really see some improvements? Can you give me a quick breakdown of what you see? And I told him, I said I would read his question on the air, and the irony behind his email and me addressing it is when I first posted my email for In the Eye of the Storm, it was with that in mind, that very notion in mind, where people could send emails and then we bring the emails to a broadcast and read them out and respond to them. Do you know, Focus Ball, that's the first one. That's the first one.
So, well, it just works out that it was meant to be.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said it was meant to be.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but the email has been running for almost 2 years. But that's the first one. So, you know, me saying to him when I responded to his email and I said I would read your question on the air and everything, I wanted to give him shine, you see? Because I asked these things of people, just like my free giveaway on the channel and everything. There are people who are slow to respond or whatever. But sometimes people complain about things. Listen, in order to have something kinetic and positive happen to you, you have to be able to be a vessel to receive something kinetic and positive. If you don't put it out, don't expect it to come back to you. Huh? It's like, think about that for a moment. How many people want not only the oyster, but they want the pearl and the sea that it was found in and everything? You understand?
But they won't dive.
Thank you. You see? And that's what I'm saying. So, Michael Hollins, salute to you, brother, and thank you for your email. And now, Healer Mind Body Coach and I, we can cook on that.
Yes, sir.
You have seen the clips, right?
Yeah.
They're everywhere pretty much. And just over the past 24 hours, there have been new ones that have come out with Deontay and Malik Scott working together in the ring. I mean, they're doing some great things together, you know. And what I wanted to ask you, because I'll comment on it as well. What are your thoughts on what you're starting to see with what he's doing with Malik?
I'm happy to see it. I'm actually refreshed. You know, it's not just a physical change, even though there has been a big physical change in Wilder. What it is, it looks more like an intellectual change into how he perceives and understands boxing. I've taught people things before, and even learning boxing myself, I look at clips of when I was punching and doing certain combinations, and then a couple years later, I'm like, I would never do that combination, you know? So the things that you're doing, they seem more intelligent. They seem, it's that punch goes there. It's the right punch at the right time. You get what I'm saying? So he's much more, definitely a greater boxing IQ. Additionally, he's definitely physically bigger. And that's normally a detriment for when you're boxing, to put on weight, to put on muscle mass. But considering the amount of time that he's had to condition his body, I don't think that's a problem. It's only a problem if you put on 10 pounds of muscle, you have to condition that new 10 pounds of muscle to perform. But as Tay Jones has said, they've been through a few training camps. So he's had a few training camps with this new body. So I feel like we're going to get somebody who's hitting harder, hitting faster, and is wiser about his punch selection.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? Also, like, you know, in the sport of basketball, the old coaches used to always talk about how important your fundamentals are, right? It's like your fundamentals, how you handle the rock, being able to dribble. You try to practice to dribble equally with your left as your right. You try to shoot with your left and your right. Layups in particular, you want to be able to finger roll and, you know, get that dexterity with both sides where you become almost ambidextrous, you know, as you're handling the pill and all of that. Shooting, passing, you know, we've seen everybody do the highlight reel passes behind the back and the one hand pass and all that, but they used to teach you to, you know, shoot that ball out from your chest, a chest pass, things like that, fundamentals, and they're for a reason. Well, in boxing, the fundamentals happen with what we're looking at here in these clips of Wilder training with Malik Scott. And I just got a message from Drew. Oh yeah, Drew, you're more than welcome, brother. And check this out. I'm on the Discord, Drew, so come in through there. Give me 1 second, Focus Ball. I want to make sure that Drew has that.
Oh, take your time.
Where he can get in there with us. Let's see here. Let's see. I
love teaching boxing. When I watch somebody do mitt work, always wonder, like, what is it? What's the purpose of you doing this mitt work? What are you trying to develop out of this person? Like, when I do mitt work, there's different ways we can do mitt work. We can do mitt work that's more centered around what is it called? Being able to have a great output, right? Mm-hmm. So with my old coaches, when we did mitt work, we didn't stop. So sometimes I would get too exhausted to even continue. 30 minutes of straight mitt work, no break in between. So it can become a cardiovascular workout as well, where it helps you throw more punches in a fight and not get exhausted. And then there's also the technical aspect of mitt work, where you try to work on someone's technique.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What I was going to say, I was just sending that message to Drew. What I was going to say is, we're seeing Wilder go back to the basics, his fundamentals. A lot of people didn't give him any credit for being a fighter who had technical ability due to the way he was getting people out of there. But he does have technical ability, and it's to be acknowledged. But what's happening here with what you see with he and Malik Scott, Malik is reminding him of the things that he's gotten away from. And I'm sure during this teaching time, he was able to also remind him of, Wilder has sustained quite a few injuries with his muscles, his arms, his hands, things of that nature. And because he had gotten away from proper technique, it could have been a reason for some of the unnecessary injuries that he was sustaining. But being able to have the extended camps that he's had that chance to be reminded. So when Michael Holland is asking me these questions about my thoughts about that, I think that you turn lemons into lemonade. And this is what he was able to do in doing those things. And it's a wonderful thing to see when a guy who, remember, he medaled in the Olympics. Yes, his medal was a bronze medal, but bronze was like gold for him because he comes into the pros and he became heavyweight champion of the world. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to be put in a place where you lost or taken a loss and then have to come back and add new wrinkles, fix what was maybe need addressing and things of that nature. And I think that you could see all of that in these clips that have come out about him since they started releasing them. But as I have stated in more than one occasion, what's really interesting is what hasn't been shown. That's what I love about this, the mystique about what could be coming in his next performance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very excited about that. And I'll get your follow-up on that, Healer, but I just want to welcome our two brothers. The brother Drew Titan LLC and Divine Sense Boxing have joined us here on the panel. So we're going to cook now. We got some bodies in here tonight. I'm loving that, man. So salute to you two brothers, Drew and Divine. Drew, you want to say something as you come in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute Stormy. Salute Divine Sense Boxing. What's going on, brothers? Salute Focus Bull. Healer of my body and coach, man. Pleasure to be here. Filling up the spot. I know it's a tough act to follow with with the three wise men, but I'm gonna do my best.
I hear you. And it is tough, man, because both of our brothers are kind of down this evening, and we want to wish them both recovery and for Kurt, it's a long, tough grind, and he showed up in the chat this evening, but he really needs our energy because the brother is dealing with a whole lot. And Scrapbook had some accident of some sort, and I haven't been able to find out more detail. I tried to reach out, but he did let me know early this morning that he wasn't going to be able to do a show this evening. So, thoughts and energy and prayers are with both brothers.
God bless.
They're both dealing with their circumstances. So,
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. And Divine, welcome to the show, man. How you doing? And you want to say something as you coming in?
Yeah, I didn't realize that you were gonna come on what is it over there, Thursday night over there stateside. So I just saw you pop up. So I'm like, I gotta jump in and talk about this Deontay Wilder's new and improved and determined person that we're seeing. You know, so I just wanted to jump in and give my thoughts real quick.
Yeah, and Divine, usually it's the three wise men at this time slot with myself, Kurt, and Scrap, but they both unfortunately weren't able to make it this evening, but I still wanted to produce some content for the community. You see, Stormy is that trooper. I'm still putting my irons in the fire out there, you know, to keep things going. So that's what it's about. And to be able to share the platform with you three gentlemen this evening, it's a wonderful thing. So I'm glad all of you were able to make it here, because this is what I was saying as I was opening up the show. This is what it's about: networking, community working together. But definitely. I want to throw the mic to Healer, because he wanted to say something as what I said about this with Wilder, and then I'll bring in Drew and then Divine. So go ahead, Healer.
Run that back. What was the original question?
What was that? I'm sorry, I took my head.
No. What was the original question?
Oh, I answered the emailer's question, Michael Holland, but I thought you might want to have a rebuttal or a comment on what I offered what I witnessed from Wilder and the clips that they've released, you know, because he asked me, do I think it's all for show?
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that's not what I wanted to say. Man, the way it's looking right now, I feel like what this man has, the grasp of the fundamentals, he can just walk straight into Fury. Just walk straight at him. Because there's always going to be an appropriate response that'll have him come out the winner in the end. He's got the hardest punch. And if he's working on his defense and everything else in that jab, there's nothing left to do but come forward and make it happen. Mm-hmm. You know? So hopefully this dude shows up on the 9th. But yeah, I'm going to pass it.
Okay. Drew, you want to come on in with something on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in a space where I can differentiate, actually, like what the brother Blue Blood says, facts over feelings. Right. Of course, it's aggravating to see how they do the brother and, you know, black fighters in general, but that's a whole other conversation. Because this is the biggest but injustice as far as what has been treated career-wise and the credit or lack thereof that he deserves for hitting the ground running. You know, they're talking about things that he didn't say as opposed to the work he's putting in. How could I believe what you say when I see what you do? Tyson Fury is always talking. He just did a weird interview, was it today or yesterday, late yesterday, in reference to what he's going to do to Deontay Wilder, but I haven't seen him. I see few videos of him hitting a bag, and he hasn't even broken a sweat. He's doing more talking than putting in work. And every time I turn around every other day, as you see on the screen, we're seeing him putting in work, indoors, outdoors, jumping rope, has with Malik Scott. And if Deontay Wilder, it makes me wonder, either he's a savant for this, which I'm leaning towards, and I'll explain that in a second, or he's just either he always was doing this but just got away from it because he didn't need to do it. He felt that he didn't need to do it. He might be a savant, and the only reason why I say that is because this man hopped off a bear truck and said, "Listen, this money that I'm making ain't gonna secure my daughter's future, so I'm gonna start beating people up because I think I'm good at it." And to be
Hey, Drew, we lost your audio for a second. Can you, like, pop out and pop back in? Something happened there. Can anybody on the panel hear me? Something happened. Hold fast, family. I think we got a situation here. Let me try to clear this up real quick. Just be patient. See something. Can you brothers hear me now? Something is happening with Discord. Can you brothers hear me now? Yo. Can you guys hear me now?
We should log out and log back in.
No.
You want to try?
Yeah. You just if it does that, can you hear me now, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll do that, similar to what StreamYard does, but you know.
Oh.
You know, so you might just have to pop out the server and pop back in. But if you're hearing me now, everything is good. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so when that happens,
say?
if it happens to me, if it happens to you or whatever, any one of us that's on the panel, just pop out the server and pop right back in, just like you do on StreamYard. It's the same.
StreamYard, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So
all right, what's the best thing you heard me say?
Listen, you can take it from the top if you like, because once you started going, it just kind of cut out. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm sorry about
what I was saying was that's all right. What I was saying is, basically, in a nutshell, I really love what I see from Deontay. I was trying to decipher whether he's a savant in reference to boxing, or was he doing this the entire time, and we just never got to see him do it. And he might be a savant. This might be something he was born to do. Like Michael Jordan, I recall him saying that he always wanted to play baseball growing up. And he never thought that he'd be labeled. You understand? He's a Michael Jordan in the boxing. I'm not saying that because his career's not over. I'm saying that Deontay Wilder didn't come out the womb saying, look at what he's doing. Look at what he's doing. He is he's overcoming. And like I was saying earlier before it got cut out, nothing happens on our time. And there's things that happen in life that we don't understand. And if we get annoyed at what he's going through, can you imagine what he feels as a man? Because he's actually going through it. You understand?
Yes.
So how he and I've come to terms with what's happened because I am very confident of the outcome. Every time I turn around, I see Tyson Fury, he's throwing punches at a bag with his shirt on, because Lord knows when his shirt off, I mean, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare. You know, he doesn't look like he's in shape. He's not taking it seriously. He did a weird interview. I think either he was yesterday or today. He didn't even have the fight date correct. He's talking about he wants to fight AJ before the year's out, which is impossible. Then he's talking about fighting Dillian White and all these other guys. I mean, he just sounds like a babbling buffoon. That's what he sounds like.
Yeah.
And it leads me to believe not only is he not taking this fight seriously, and I hate to say this because I hope my brothers are wrong. I hope BFTB is wrong. I hope Champside is wrong. But more and more I lose confidence that this guy's going to show up to this fight, man. Yeah. I lose confidence, man, because the way he was talking, I said, this guy's not showing up, man, because I think the way he sounds, I think he's made up his mind and he has an escape route. And I think if he has to retire or go sit down for 3 to 5 years, I think he'd do that rather than get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, because Wilder is showing that he's not moved. He's just put in the work. How can I believe what you say when I see what you do? What is a 30-second video of Tyson Fury fainting on a damn heavy bag? What is that as opposed to Deontay Wilder showing us things that we've never seen him do? That is frightening. So you're throwing in this guy that has power in both hands, all right? And now he's showing you the head movement that no one said that people said he didn't have. Now he's showing sharp, tight punches to the body, stiff jabs to the chest instead of that quote-unquote windmill that people are always talking about. Now it's not there. And Tyson Fury yanked the rug from underneath his own feet because all he did, I think Tay told me that this is his 5th camp and he's injury-free for real now. All he did, playing games in and out of court, all he did was give Deontay Wilder time to heal. And this is going to be a major, major problem. If Tyson Fury shows up October 9th, I was nice about it and I said 5 rounds. This guy's getting out of here in 3. And I'm putting money on it. He's getting out of here in 3. This is going to look like a totally different fight. And a lot of it is because Deontay Wilder has improved. He's improved his camp. Now watch this. And I said this morning on my live stream. He listened to the public. Remember the major complaint? I can't believe that he's been with Mark Breland all this time, and all Mark Breland has showed him how to throw that right hand. That's all he has. Well, he listened to you. He changed his camp, and now look at what the man is doing. And now we want to see him do it in the ring. We want to see what the training does. We want to see how it translates in actual combat. And getting this guy in the ring, getting Fury in the ring has become a problem. So how could I believe what you say when I see what you do? What have we seen Fury do? Duck a fight. Well, there's nothing else to do but to get in the ring. All right. If in the disrespect, all of that's over. Playtime has ended. We're 30 days out now. What are you going to do, Fury? I say he takes a dirt nap in 3 rounds. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Deontay Wilder has revamped him. He's basically reinvented himself, and he's smiling, and he's looking like he's having a good time. They're partying like they've already won, because you know why? They already have. They've won the mental game. Nothing else matters. I love what I see. I see lateral movement. I see that work to the body, that left hook to the body. I saw a hook off the jab. This is some dangerous stuff here. And all they did was make more of a complete fighter. And Fury got problems if he shows up. And that's my take on it.
I've even seen, I haven't seen the live video of it, but I've seen photos of showing Deontay on the speed bag, which we had never ever seen him on that. But
that's right.
I'm like, man, this brother is doing everything he's supposed to be doing. And we had someone like Breland out there lying on him and everything, man. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to beat Breland up, but I'm just going to say a change was due. You know, a change was due. Let's bring our brother Divine Sense in. Go ahead, Divine. You can cook on this as well. Your thoughts. And I know you just did some more film study on these guys. Go ahead.
Ooh, man, Drew up here cooking. I was sitting close to the fire when Drew was speaking. Man, took a lot of words out of my mouth, man, to be honest with you. And that's a good thing. I just did the film study, was it this morning, of Deontay's training. And something I like to do is like to point out things that I see, you know, as far as improvements and all that good boxing stuff. But yeah, I mean, all I can really do is just further Drew's points. I mean, for me, one big thing that stands out is the dedication to the body. And I think the boxing public in general think it's a joke. I think that it's just all for show. You know, and I told my viewers this morning that, you know, this is much more than just a Instagram video. You know, this is literally Wilder saying, this is what I'm going to do and you can't stop me. And to Drew's point, where's Fury's footage? Ain't got no footage other doing back-breaking deadlifts. He can barely deadlift his body weight. And Deontay Wilder's out there bench pressing Fury's body weight. More than his body weight. So it's just crazy when I think about it, because I'm just now looking at my videos, right? I first recreated my channel at the beginning of June. And I dropped a video saying, Deontay Wilder will smash Tyson Fury. And I dropped that video on June 22nd, 1 month before the original date of July 24th. And I got a lot of love, don't get me wrong, but I got a lot of heat too on that video. A lot of heat. Fury fans coming in full force. This guy's crazy. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't know anything about boxing. This is June 22nd, I dropped this video. We're in September now. And what I'm starting to notice, a lot of crickets. A lot of crickets. Because Wilder is putting in that work, and more so than that, Fury isn't putting in work. And Fury fans know this. And as the date continues to creep closer and closer and closer, fellas, we're a month away now. Less than a month away now.
Yes, sir.
So they know. They know what time it is, and they see the training footage. I had a couple Fury fans in my live stream this morning, and I was cooking. And eventually they were like, oh, man, Divine, I guess you're right, man. Deontay is looking good. And I know these guys are Fury fans. They subscribe to my channel because of maybe other fighters that I talk about that they like, but ultimately they're Fury fans. And they started saying, oh, man, that body work. And what I like about Malik Scott, and I've said this many times, I know I've told you this personally, Stormy, is for me personally, I think when it's all said and done, that's going to be the best move Deontay ever made in his career at 35 years old.
Well,
because
you know,
he brings Malik.
Not to cut you off, but we'll go ahead and finish your statement, but I want to add something to what you just said.
Yeah. Now, I was just going to say that at 35, I think he's rejuvenated in himself, and he's automatically is just added like 4 to 5 years on his career just by adding in Malik Scott. The confidence, the determination, the comfort that you see in his body language, his demeanor, you know, that's crucial. I never saw Deontay like this. You know, he was with Mark Breedlove, and I ain't trying to make this about Mark Breedlove. We've already beat that horse long dead. But I feel like you just see, like what Drew said, somebody that has always been there, but it's never been pulled out of him, never been truly revealed. You know, this whole idea, oh, he doesn't have boxing skill. He's a one-trick pony, this, that, and whatever. And one guy said to me in the live this morning, said, well, don't you think it's a bit too revealing? Do you think they're releasing too much? And I said, it don't matter. It's too late anyway. We're less than a month away. Fury don't got no time. And not only that, it's the confidence. You know what I mean? It's the confidence. And it's not like he's releasing sparring footage. It's not like, you know, I think the mitt work is the mixture of showing his viewers and his supporters, you know, the improvements that he's made, but also there's a little bit of flair to it, to be honest. There's a bit of flair, like, you know, exhibiting the power and all the energy from, you know, his support team and whatnot. You know, it's Instagram. You want to hype it up a little bit, but there's also a lot of quality in there. But last little thing I want to say about Malik, and because I know that you want to jump in on it, Stormy, is Malik Scott was a heavyweight himself. He's a big man, right? So automatically, on a physical standpoint, stature standpoint, is he's going to offer, when it comes to mitt work, is he can hold the mitts, and Deontay can really put in power behind his shots. And not only that, but also he can then say, okay, good footwork. Yeah, let's position here. Let's position there. Let's go to the body here, pivot here, slide out under here. So he's also not only having the physical attributes to withstand his power, but also continue to teach him and coach him through the movements that they're working on. And you can bring in a bigger guy to come in and hold a bodysuit, and you can smash the bodysuit around. But when you have your head trainer who can do it all and who has the boxing knowledge behind all of that, and we knew this going into this training camp, that Malik is going to bring that boxing edge and the fundamentals that what you guys were talking about before I jumped in. You're going to bring in those fundamentals that are absolutely crucial, that was always been there, but now it's revived. Now the fundamentals are revived. And you've got that, and then you got the power. And it's like what Drew was saying. I've never said an official prediction. I just said it's game over, basically. But I think originally, like when I dropped my video back in June, I thought probably around 7-8. And I think that Fury's going to try to come out and box this time, in my opinion. I think he might, in the first round, try to walk Wilder down the way he did the first fight to see if he can get away with it. And Wilder's going to exhibit those pivots and the jab and those left hooks to the body, and not allowing Fury to lay up on him and pull his head down and headlock him. He's going to be moving, and he's not going to allow that to happen. And then Fury's going to say, okay, this ain't going to work. And then he's going to try to come out and box. And then Wilder is then going to start setting up his power shots, I think, in my opinion. And that's why I think originally I thought it would go maybe a little bit later, because if Fury boxes, he can be a little bit slippery and try to drag out the fight with clinching and all that different stuff to buy himself time. But now that I'm thinking about it, seeing what I've seen in training now, man, I think less than 5, man. Less than 5. And I think it's going to be devastating. I really do. I'm at the point now where I'm so confident that it's going to be a devastating knockout that I'm already starting to think past it a little bit. And I'm thinking, man, what if Joshua doesn't get past Usyk? I'm already looking in the future about the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. You understand me? That's where I'm at right now. That's how confident I am. So, yeah, those are my quick thoughts. And I know you wanted to jump in, Stormy, on Malik Scott.
Yeah, interesting remark you made about you thinking that this might be the smartest move that he made for his career. There's a heavyweight that's in the Hall of Fame now that did something similar, and that was Lennox Lewis, when he was knocked out by Oliver McCall. And going into that fight, Oliver McCall was being trained by Emanuel Stewart, which was interesting within itself. But let me say this for our viewers and listeners out there who may have heard of Oliver McCall and seen both high and low lights of his career. Oliver McCall was one hell of a heavyweight. Okay, don't get it twisted. He was. So he wasn't a bum that got lucky. But with Emanuel Stewart working with him in training and everything for Lennox Lewis, Emanuel was able to exploit what Lennox's weaknesses were, and Oliver McCall was capable of carrying out what Emanuel's instructions were. Now, Lennox was known as a person who liked to play chess and stuff. He was a very regal guy from the UK, and he sipped tea and all of that stuff, just like, but he was also a cunning guy. And Lennox was a quick study. If he did something incorrectly, he could correct it the next time he got an opportunity. When he lost to Tyrell Biggs, he came back and kicked Biggs' butt the next time he fought him. When he sparred Mike Tyson in the Catskills when they were young, Mike jumped on him that day, that first day of sparring, and kind of gave him a bloody nose and everything. And Lennox said he wasn't expecting that. He was, he thought they was just going to be sparring and, kind of, shaking it out a little bit. But Mike came at him like they were in a real fight and everything. So the next time that they sparred, Lennox said, hey, I'm going to be ready for him. I know what to do now. So the next time they sparred, Lennox was getting the best of Mike. And Cus D'Amato had to call it off. Say, hey, don't do that, Mike. What are you doing? You might have to fight this guy one day or whatever. So basically, Lennox drew that line and said, hey, So when you saw him go and enlist the services of Emanuel Stewart from the man who conquered him, it showed tremendous insight. And though Emanuel can be credited with helping heavyweight Lennox and Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko or whatever, Lennox might be his masterpiece because the way he was able to take care of himself in the ring, from that tutelage that he got from Emanuel, it made a marked difference in his career going forward. And seeing that Deontay Wilder, who said that he had Malik on his radar for a while because he recognized that Malik had boxing IQ. He was a quick study with boxing. And though he may not have been able to execute himself, he's still having the knowledge of what needs to be done and everything. That doesn't come easy. You can look around in the sport today and see the guys who are not that adept at showing people anything when it comes to the sport of boxing. But I remarked in June when we had our mid-year awards for the sport of boxing, coaches and fighter of the year, knockout of the year and everything, I remarked at the midpoint of the year that I gave coach of the year for midpoint 2021 to Malik Scott. And they hadn't even fought a professional fight yet. And some people may say, man, that's crazy. How can you make that type of assessment? All you have to do is look at the rejuvenation, the motivation, the execution, the focus, the demeanor and joy that you see in this champion that hadn't been there in a long time. That doesn't come easy, people. It doesn't come easy. So when Lennox got with Emanuel, that's what happened. This may be a case of history similarly repeating itself. And I hope that Malik Scott can pass on his boxing mentorship to other fighters and not just the champ, because I do believe he may be giving some of the guys that at the top right now as far as considered coaching a run for their money, especially if Deontay is able to be successful out there, because that's what it takes, for somebody to say, oh, well, look what he did for this guy. But I can tell you just on what I've seen clips of Deontay working in the gym, sparring, shadow boxing, everything. He's doing nothing currently like he used to do it. Nothing. There's a total revamp going there. And the thing is, the Fury fans, the AJ fans, and the fanatics and followers of these guys, they are blind to these facts. even this guy, Drew did a video about him, this Johnny Nelson guy, who is really a POS, okay, because for him to state the things that he stated, you're a former fighter yourself, and you don't want to give an acknowledgement of progression, well, your heart will be torn from your chest, because I can see this. We have another young fighter from the UK that has done something similar, and he hadn't even taken a loss, and that's Joshua Buatsi, who I'm kind of high on this young prospect guy, and I call him prospect still because even though he's in that range now where he's munching on being a contender, there's some things he should still learn on his way up. But it's like for him to go out and get a Western coach to advance him, and it was someone who had a tremendous fighter in Andre Ward and Virgil Hunter, it shows that that man is dealing with boxing, his approach to boxing from a cerebral standpoint, not a physical. And I think that Virgil is a great guy to mentor a man like that who needs something new and refreshing. See, some of the Western fighters, the American fighters, they can be tainted. They can be tainted from watching Floyd Mayweather or whoever is their fighter that they would view when you sit down and watch film and things like that. But you need someone who's going to open their ear up to learning, okay? The brain can be like a sponge, but if it's absorbed a whole bunch of crap, you got to get rid of that. And some people have too much ego to take on, you know, the fact that in the accountability and saying, hey, I need help. See, but you're witnessing men who are doing this. And as long as there are people who are able to do that, you're going to see some progression in the sport, and it's going to upset your favorite fighters. It's going to upset the people who are popular. It's going to upset a lot of fanboys because they're looking at boxing from the wrong lens. I'm sorry I went a little long myself there, but I'll throw the mic back around to Healer. If you got anything else you want to say on this, Healer, or if you want to introduce a new idea or whatever, go ahead, bro. You there, Healer? You're on mute if you're there.
Can you hear me? He may have stepped away.
Okay. Drew.
All right. Yeah, I'll add to what you're saying. When you hear what POSs like Johnny Nelson says, and the UK fan base, and the you know how I feel about the American fan base, that steadily violates Deontay. What that is what I call organized confusion, and it's fear, because he's following through on exactly what they said he should have done prior to 10 title defenses. He's fixed everything that they've been telling him to fix, even getting rid of his quote-unquote yes men. And the only yes man he had in his camp, he got rid of in the name of Mark Breland. You know, the guy that stuck around for the better part of over a decade just to turn around and say, this man doesn't listen, and then lied on him. He flew over to the UK to lie on him, then came back home and said, I got set up. Well, how, Mark? Oh, I got set up because I told them I didn't want to talk about Deontay, and then the first thing they did was ask me about Deontay. Well, they flew you out to the UK because you was terminated, and they didn't want to know what's going on because you have nothing else going on in your career. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying it because it's true. The only reason why they asked you to come out there and talk was to talk about the guy that you coached for over a decade. Now, in saying that, the haters and the detractors, they're nervous. All of this negative rhetoric is their bad nerves. And what they don't realize is Deontay Wilder has done exactly what you said he should do. throw short hooks, use the jab. I don't see no lateral movement. Now you see it. No windmills, right? He's showing you more than a right hand. And he got rid of the yes men. Remember, he got too many. Remember Paulie Malignaggi? Oh, he got too many yes men around him. Okay, the one yes man he had around him, the guy that was taking a check and not repairing anything, he got rid of him. So he did everything you asked him to do. And you know why they're angry? Here's what it is. They didn't want him to make any changes.
Exactly.
Because if he changed nothing, then Fury has just as good as a chance of winning the third fight as he did in the second and the first. That's their ideology. Never mind the cheating, because we all saw that. They want to ignore that, but we saw that. But if he changed nothing, they'd be more confident saying that Fury wins by knockout. But now they can't cheat, and now they're looking at what he's doing with Malik King Scott, and they're nervous. See, all of this negative rhetoric, all of this trolling that they're doing, this is nerves. This is that person talking all loud to you in school, and you're staring at him in class like, you know, when 3 o'clock hits, you can't run fast enough to that bus stop. You know I'm going to get you. Why are you talking? And by the time 8th period ends, all of that smiling he was doing in the morning, after lunch, and 7th period, now it becomes an uncomfortable smile. And now you see him sweating. The air conditioner's on. Why are you sweating? And you've been calm the whole day. And you're like, I already know I'm going to smash this dude. And at first, everyone was like, ooh, look what he's saying to you. Look what he's saying to you. Then 8th period, you look at his face. Now he's sweating. And then you lean over, you say, yeah, you remember how you used to write notes in school? You slide him that note. I'm going to beat your A. As soon as that bell ring, I'm going to beat your A.
Man, I'm
8th
laughing
period
because
rings, he's good.
I'm laughing because I remember those days. There were a couple of those.
Bringing back memories.
Oh my goodness, man! You know what? The thought of it is worse than what could actually happen. It's like he get you there. You
That's right. That's right. That's right. Now the whole day, this idiot's fronting. This idiot's fronting. Got his friends laughing, thinking he not scared, and you just staring at him like, yep, okay. That's how you feel? Wait till after school. So you got first period, second period, third period, fourth period, lunch, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th period. You just watching the clock and looking at him. Now he's uncomfortable. Now he's sweating. Now that bell rings, he's darting out the door, sweating bullets, darting out the door. You run to the bus leaving. I got you, buddy. I got you. Now let's see. Back up all of that talk from 8 o'clock this morning. It's now 3 o'clock high. What you got for me?
And you got an audience.
And you got an audience. Now they want to see if you could back up all of that clowning you was doing from 8 this morning. And the answer is you can't. Because now you're at the bus stop copping, please. Oh, well, look, man, I was just waiting. Nope. Put up your dukes. So all of that trolling he was doing, all of that things that Tyson Fury was doing, all that trolling, now you got to back it up. See, you was trolling because you thought that Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum and Frank Warren was really going to get you out of that fight. But after a while, didn't they tell Eddie to shut up? They said, shut up, man. Stop. You're going too hard. Had everyone believing. Look, let me tell you about the universe. That Sunday, I believe it was a Sunday, Tyson Fury put out information. I'll see you in Saudi. I play it on my show all the time. And he said the fight was done. I was getting unbelievably trolled. You know, people making videos about how I look and how I felt since that fight was signed. I said, well, this is great. Thank you for the free promotion. But I have one question for everybody. Did ESPN say anything about Fury winning the arbitration? And everyone said, well, screw arbitration. They said the fight is signed. I said, great. Right? I said, great. This is absolutely brilliant stuff. So then Monday came. I'll never forget it. I'm driving on the highway, and Tay Jones hits me up, phone. And I'm driving. I check my phone. He won the arbitration. And I pulled right off the highway into a shopping mall, and I went live. You see, not everything deserves a response, because
Drew, your audio went out again.
We're gonna have the last laugh. I hope everyone understands that. We are going to have the last laugh, but I'll give it to somebody else.
Okay, Healer, I see you pop back in. You were out and you pop back in. You ready now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead and give us your thoughts, whatever it is. If you want to stay on that subject, or if you had something else that while we were cooking, go ahead.
Yeah, so touch on something you were saying earlier about the coaching. Like, I would give Malik Scott the Coach of the Year, because guess what? Triple G's coach never boxed at all. What qualifies him to be a coach? So if he can be a coach and a good coach at that, Abel Sanchez, and people look to him for his opinion, why not Malik Scott, who's done it and is showing you improvements in his fighter? As a coach of sorts myself, as the mind-body coach, look, my clients expect results. When I work with people, if they don't get results, they'll stop paying me. So I take a very cerebral approach to working on a fighter. What is it that we have to work on? Oh, they say he can't box going backwards. We're going to work on that. They say he ain't got good footwork. We're going to work on that. They say he don't use his jab. We're going to work on that. So we've seen notable improvements from Deontay Wilder. We've seen him do things that he hasn't done. So we're seeing him explore different dimensions. But the thing of it is, what aren't we seeing? What is he doing that we aren't seeing? One thing I'm seeing that isn't readily apparent is, like I said, putting on muscle slows you down. It takes a lot more oxygen. But looking at his physique, he looks comfortable in his physique. Him doing those power lifts, and you have these weirdos out here saying, oh, bench pressing is not going to help your boxing. Bench pressing doesn't directly help boxing, and it's probably detrimental in over a period of time because you don't want to put your shoulder at risk and whatnot. But the reason he was benching, he was powerlifting. That's a power lift. He only did 1 rep. That means with his upper body, he can press a lot of power. This dude's weight. So that means when he hits this man, see, it's one thing to bench and then try to box, but it's another thing to bench and condition yourself. So you gain the new power from training at the 1 rep max, then going to box. What we're going to develop is explosive power that you can maintain. He's going to hit this motherfucker hard. Excuse my language. He going to hit him harder this time. He going to hit him way harder this time. Those are the intangibles that you're not really seeing. And that's why I would give him Coach of the Year, because it's not just the technical ability, it is also the strength and condition.
You know, what makes for a good coach? What makes for a good coach is when the mentor is able to reach the pupil and to manifest the desire to want to achieve, to want to make an impression, to have a breakthrough. It's not about motivation, because a person can be motivated by something external, sometimes things internal, but motivations can wane, but when you are introducing something to someone that opens them up to the possibilities and they are enjoying the process, they are enjoying the ride, the journey, that's when you're really doing something. That's when you're really doing something. And salute to our brother Divine Sense. He had to go. He said he had a live stream on his own channel that he had to launch off. So thanks to Divine for joining us for the time he did this evening. Being able to do those things, which is why, I looked at when I was in school, and I didn't like school for those very reasons. It's like, sometimes I questioned some of my instructors. I was like, who gave this guy a job? You know what I mean? It's like, isn't his job to get through to me and help me or whatever? And it's like, you understand, they put something on the board and say, can you understand this or whatever? And you say no, and and they're like, oh, you should get it. Everybody else got it. No, you're the teacher. You're the instructor. You should help me be able to find my way. What are you talking about? You see it a lot in life. And I talk about how this sport goes hand in hand with what you deal with outside of the journey of sports. It's like in everyday life, you can see these things take place. Malik Scott is doing a great job. That's why I said I would love to see him work with some other guys as well, because it will show, because somebody may not be as gifted as Deontay, but he might set the world on fire with a trainer and coach like Malik Scott. That's sorely needed, big time. You know, and I love the fact that he's gonna have this success with Deontay because Deontay wants it and everything. But it would really be nice if he started bringing up some other guys as well. I mean, after he's, you know, gotten these things that because there is a focus here, and I'm not trying to detract from that at all. But I do recognize when someone has, you know, something special going on, and I think he has something special going on, and I think he's got a special guy that he's working with. So I look forward to that. I look forward to it.
I would love to add to that, Stormy.
Sure, go ahead.
So here's what you're saying about you don't want to detract from what they're doing. I completely understand. When you're from the perspective of a trainer and a boxing trainer, when you're working with someone, it should never just be, oh, that person does this fight, so we're going to work on this. No, I'm working on you learning everything in boxing from A to Z. You get me? Yep. We're working on patching up what you don't know and mastering the things that you already know, right? Yep. So there is an overall plan. There should be an agenda. My agenda for my training, I made my own training plan. It's 2.5 years long. For me to be in the shape to move the kind of power, the kind of speed, endurance, the weight that I want to be at, and the knowledge, I would say 2.5 years of certain amounts of training camp, periodized with rest, 6 to 7 weeks each. I just came off of one and unfortunately had a little bit of a relapse because it's post-surgery and whatnot. So I had to slow down on that last camp. But with that in mind, I would like to see, there's nothing wrong with bringing other people into it, and a good coach would have no problem with that. You get me? I think coaches who are just trying to hog the spotlight or just secure their bread, their income, you know, will selfishly deprive the boxer of certain techniques that they just can't show them, that they just know or experience that they don't have. You get me?
Yeah.
So
listen. Drew Titan can speak to that. He just did a video on it. Freddie Roach and Justin, what's his name? Justin Hammer? No. What's his name, Drew?
I know what you're talking about. Justin
Fortune. I'm sorry. Justin Fortune. Yeah. Are you there, Drew?
It was just, I was coming off of mute. Yeah, it was Justin Fortune.
Yeah, yep. You just did a video on that. See, and it's like Freddie Roach wanted to take all the glory when Pacquiao was doing well and having knockouts and being successful in that manner. And then if something went wrong, he had a setback, he was knocked down, knocked out, or something like that, then it was somebody else's fault. You know?
That's right.
And those are the worst type of guys. I despise them. But I'll tell you, I've despised Freddie Roach since the first time that I recognized that he wouldn't pay homage to Eddie Futch. Eddie Futch showed him a number of things. He came up in Eddie Futch's graces, and he, because of the bias that he has, and it runs in his family. It's a you know, it's that thing that we don't like to talk about, but we say it's always there. But that's okay. This is why he has to deal with the things he has to deal with. Yeah, I said it. And that is across the board. Remember, I opened this show talking about giving back, giving out that positive kinetic energy, and how when you do that and you put that out into the universe, how it comes back to you. That's exactly what I was talking about. In order for me to be a mentor, I have to be receptive to being mentored. There's a reciprocity that takes place through that process, and there should be an equal exchange of something taking place. When you're all, get all receiving and not giving and things like that, then you'll see what happens. You overfill a glass, what happens? You overfill your belly, what happens? You overfill the tub, what happens? It's a natural order in life, man. And people don't understand that because their head is too lofty in the clouds to understand that there is a ground below. The clouds are up there and the ground is below. Your job is to stay somewhere in between, that you don't go too low or too high. Most people don't understand that, and they never live to figure it out.
Icarus.
Icarus, that's right. Don't fly too close to the sun.
There you go. You see? And you brothers, I know that story, but I wasn't even thinking of it, and you just brought it back. See what I'm saying? This is what we can do for one another. Boom. That's how that works.
There's something called it's a lost word, and more and more in this age of technology and everything else, and the more we go deeper in life, I see the gap in the age gap in these younger people, and when I see it accepted with older people, I look at them strange. It's called accountability. No one wants to accept accountability, and it's the common thing with this younger generation. Nothing is their fault. Nothing is their fault. All right, but like we brought up Justin Fortune, and he just said, "I'm flat out tired of this." I really wasn't paying attention. He was working with Pacquiao for what he say, like 2 decades.
Listen,
and man, every loss he got blamed for, I didn't even realize that until he said that. I didn't even realize that. This is amazing.
That really speaks volumes about Mr. Roach, don't it?
Oh, it sure does.
Don't it? I mean, it's like, and dude, I ain't here to slam nobody, but to kind of paraphrase Martin Lawrence when he was doing his stand-up, when he said, "You see that? You smell that? That's you. That's you right there. That's Fred. you stink, bro. You stink. And you stink for a reason. You stink because you put stank energy out into the universe." Whenever I work with guys in the gym, whenever I work with people in the gym, people were drawn to me to the degree like I got burned out and tired because I can't work with everybody. I can't work with everybody. But it was like they loved what I had to offer, because sometimes what I might say to you, I don't say to the other guy. How I might deal and handle you, I might not handle that other person the same way, but I try to find a way to connect. You see? And that's the important thing. A know-it-all can't do it all. It ain't gonna happen that way. It ain't gonna happen that way. So
everybody has to learn from somewhere. Yeah. And in order to be good, every great teacher was a student from somewhere. You learned. And I say this as a joke, but it's not really a joke. It's for real. And I want everyone to understand, when I say things like when the three wise men are speaking, you just shut up and listen. You can't learn while you're talking. And I'll be the first to tell you, I know some stuff, but I don't know everything. And if you listen to everybody, like I'm talking about LDBC channels in particular, I guarantee you, you're going to pick something up. Okay? You can't learn and talk at the same time. You can ask a question, but when that question's being answered, shut up and listen, because you don't know everything. Okay? It is very key what you pointed out in reference to Eddie Futch and Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach, how many times did he get trainer of the year?
Too many times than he deserved. I know that.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
People did he teach defense?
And that's where I was going.
Yeah.
No, he teaches his fighters get insulted if they don't hit you in the face. Manny Pacquiao's best defense was his offense.
Bro, Manny Pacquiao, you've trained Manny Pacquiao for 20 years, and his footwork is sure.
Everything that Manny does, a lot of that was just athleticism. It's similar, not the same. Similar to Roy Jones. If you train a fighter off the street to try and fight like Manny Pacquiao, you're going to get them killed. So a lot of that stuff that Manny did was just a knee-jerk reaction. And like Roy, he got away with all of that until, you know, things caught up with him.
But he really didn't get away as much as you might allude to, because don't forget, he got stopped a couple of times early in his career. He lost. So it was like, there were, oppositions to what he brought.
Yeah.
It's just that it's funny how when he got to a certain class, that some of those at that class, they overlooked the things that they were supposed to, be checking for. Juan Manuel Marquez is the only one who was a student of what he was supposed to be doing in there, and each and every time he fought Manny, he was not given the respect on judges' scorecards like he was supposed to be. That was all HBO and, house fighter type dealings there, because even in that last fight they fought, if he didn't knock the man out, he probably wasn't going to get the decision, even though they both had hit the canvas in the fight. It's just that, but you look at how that man fought. Juan Manuel was a damn good championship caliber fighter and champion fighter. He very good fighter. And the anti-Manny, because he did. Listen, he got dropped 3 times in that first fight. In the first round, there was no 3 knockdown rule, thank goodness. But he basically got up and won won the rest of the rounds.
Right.
And still suffered on the bad end of a decision. I mean, but Manny he's shown vulnerabilities. But let's not talk too much about him no more. There is something I wanted to get on before we, ended up closing out this show, and I got to get you guys' take on this. I got a video that I'm going to be doing, and this is kind of like one of my pre-thumbnails for the video. And if you can see that there, it's pretty cool, I think. You've got a janitor sweeping up, and it's saying time to clean up boxing. And there's an assortment of WBC belts that he's sweeping up, and also the head of Mauricio Suleiman. So I just wanted to, like I told Art Man the other day, I'm an artist too. I can put that stuff together when I want to, man. So that right there, you guys watch out for that video. It's coming soon.
Yes,
I thought I would just show that on there tonight because I had it queued up. But this is something that I wanted to show you guys and give you a chance to listen to is something that my man Boxing Conversation with Reggie Owens loaded up earlier this evening.
129.6.
It's the weigh-in.
129.6 for the challenger. Robson Obrava
fight with
All right, what's up, people, man? Once again,
it is now time to weigh in the champion. He is the
Oh,
reigning
boy.
Valdez gets on the scale. Now, Reggie, if you can hear his narration on this,
champion.
it's only like a minute and 20 seconds, but the guy got on the scale. He didn't like what he saw on the scale. He gets off.
See him looking,
And then
wondering what's going
he
on
takes
with the scale,
something
having to
off,
come off of one
and he
layer.
tries to get back
The
on the
announcer
scale,
looking worried back
and
there,
there's
top
still a
ring
problem.
announcer.
So he didn't make weight,
Valdez looking
fellas.
over again, off.
And
That's
check.
right.
Still,
He
his
didn't
team,
make
guy to
weight.
his left side from our left,
And they
looking over
lied
there, worried what
and
they
said
see on
what
the
his weight
scale.
was.
Then
They
they're
made
trying to tell
everybody
other
move
people
back
they need to move back
away
The scales
from
away from that monitor.
the scales, and then
This
they
dude
called
ain't
out a
make
weight.
none
Oh,
of that
he's
damn weight.
130.
Way
He's
over.
130.
And they made up some damn
Listen.
130 pounds for him.
These people
Faking it.
are
Here they trying
cheats,
to act
and
like
we
the other
have
people
to
standing
stay
too
on
close
their
by the
necks.
scale.
You see
They
how
got
they
nothing
made
to do.
everybody
Look how they
move
trying to
back
people up
so they
can't
couldn't
look at the
see the
Look at
scale?
what's going on.
Sure
Trying to
did.
back these people away.
He stepped off and on
Away
that
from the
scale
scale.
several
One
times because he didn't make weight, people.
Oscar
Shout out to
Valdez.
Reggie who posted this right away after it, and that's his clip. And I put that on there for tonight because I wanted people to see this for themselves.
129.6.
The opponent made weight with no problem. He was 129. Okay? They had to make up a number.
All right, what's up, people, man? Once
For
again,
Valdez.
there's
It is
this
now time to weigh in the
cheating-ish
champion.
again
He
for
is the
drug
reigning
cheat, the boxing
WBC
embarrassment,
Super
make-
Featherweight
the
champ
WBC.
from Nogales, Mexico.
Were you brothers aware of this?
Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw it a couple hours ago.
It's freaking ridiculous, bro.
This cat
Thought of
missed
boxing ego.
weight. As you see him looking,
the
wondering
biggest
what's
question
going on with
I
the
got
scale,
is,
having to come off of one layer.
what does the
announcer
guy
looking
he's
worried
fighting
back there,
think about
top
all
ring
this?
working
'Cause
announcer.
no one's heard his
Valdez
take,
looking
and he's
over
going through with the
again,
fight.
off weight still.
You know
So
what
you
I
won't-
take?
Team,
You know what
the
I
guy
think
to
about
his
that?
left
I'm
side
sorry,
from
Drew.
our
I'll
left,
let you speak in a
looking over
second.
there,
I just wanted to
worried what
say
they see on the scale. Then they're
this
trying to
kid
tell
has
other
to
people
be-
they need to move back. The
They-
scale is away from that monitor.
not just that.
This dude ain't
he
making none
has
of
to
that damn
be
weight. He's way over.
hurting.
And they made
financially.
up some damn 130.
Yeah.
He's got to be
130
hurting
pounds
financially.
for him.
And I'm
Faking
going to
that.
tell
Here
you
they trying
something.
to act like it's the other people standing too close
That's
by the scale.
the
They
greatest
have nothing to do.
injustice
Look how they're
about
trying to
this
back
whole
people up so
ordeal.
they can't look at the scale. Look at
Because
what's going on.
he may not be
Trying to
in a
back these people
position
away,
to turn it down.
away from the scale as they make the adjustments.
You know what I'm saying? And if he gets
Oscar
hurt,
Valdez did not make his weight.
that's the final nail in the coffin. Because
Right.
that's what can happen when somebody is cheating.
129.
See, listen, this can go really, really bad. And the blood could be on Mauricio Suleiman hand
All
and
right,
this
what's up,
guy,
people, man? Once again,
Valdez,
and
and also Reynoso. Because you think about this. You saw that man step off the scale, on the scale, off the scale, on the scale. What are you doing?
This cat missed weight. As you see him looking,
He shouldn't be stepping on and off more than once if he made weight and had a proper camp.
Thank you. And if you a clean fighter out of your own mouth, you said these things, but you don't look so clean.
The guy to his left side from
And
our
Reggie,
left,
salute to
looking over
Reggie.
there,
I see
worried
him
what
out
they
there in
see
the
on
chat.
scale.
He's listening.
Then they're trying to
this
tell
evening.
other
He
people
said
they need to
the
move
boxing
back.
gods
The scale is away from
are
that
gonna
monitor.
judge
This
Mr.
dude ain't
Valdez,
making none
and
of
he
that
already,
damn weight.
you
He's
know,
way
I think
over.
Reggie, it wasn't 12
And they
hours
made up
between
some
the
damn
time you said it and the weigh-in,
130
and there you go,
pounds
That's
right
right.
there.
Faking
There you
it.
go.
And here
That's
they
right.
try to act like
And
the
see,
other people
the
standing
reason
too
I'm
close by
speaking
the
on
scale.
it, and I want
They
us
have
to speak on it,
nothing
and
to do.
Drew,
Look how they're trying to back the people
if you're
up so
doing
they
the
can't
show
look at the
tomorrow,
scale.
talk
Look at
about it
what's
some
going
more,
on.
because
Back these people away.
these are the type of things
Away from the scale.
that we
As they
have
make
to
the
stay
adjustments.
vigilant about, because
130
old media don't do their job no more. They don't.
Nope. Nope.
But if there's a tragedy that comes out of this, who lap do you place that in? And I just told you the names. So this right here, and I hope this young man wins. but not because I want him to punish Valdez. Valdez will be punished in a different type
now
way.
time to weigh in the champion.
Because he's getting by, but he ain't getting by.
WBC super featherweight champ from Nogales,
But I don't want anything bad to happen to the opponent. Because like I said, the way I see it, the only reason, because who else would take the fight? You know what I mean? Many people will back out. He might be in a situation where he needs this.
looking worried back there, top rank working announcer.
With everybody calling COVID and this and that to not go, through with matches, he probably can't afford.
From our left, looking over there, worried what they see on the scale.
Go ahead, fellas. I'll let you cook. Healer, what you got on
the scale is away from that
Well,
monitor.
my inclination is he might be, you're definitely right, absolutely right, that he might be in a financial situation where he needs that. But I think that the reason he didn't say anything is possibly because there's some financial incentive for him not to just basically keep quiet, not even say anything about it, in respect that they might be giving him hush money, or to the extent that I think it's a freaking fixed fight. I think he's paid to lose to fixed fight, because if we go over the hallmarks, the tropes of the corrupt era of boxing where we saw fixed fights, we saw whatchamacallit. It's if you remember the Octopus, what was this guy's name? Do you know what I'm talking about? They called him the Octopus. Like, basically, you had your freaking gang members, you had the networks that were in on it, you had the commission, the belts. Everybody is basically, as they said in the day, mobbed up. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these whatchamacallit, commissioners or sanctioning bodies have very powerful allies, you get me?
Yes.
And those type of figures, they fix fights, dog. Oscar Valdez is a hype job. He's got handlers. Everything he's doing is behind his handlers. There's some money behind him. He's just the face to go out there and do stuff. They gonna give him bums. They gonna give him PEDs to do what he needs to do. It's a fixed fight. It's fake.
This dude ain't make none of that.
Well, my opinion on it, I agree with Focus Ball 110%. And it's fixed on a level that they're not even bothering to hide what they're doing anymore. It's like blatant in their face and in our face, and
away from the scale.
There's lack of respect for us. There's lack of respect. I'm talking about us as a fan and us as black people. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah, it's a lack of respect, and I've made peace with that. I've made peace with that because now that it's out loud and in our face, we know how to move, or we should know how to move. I'm done with the WBC. We should go the IBF route, or any route for that matter. Actually, you know what? No sanctioning body is above criticism at this point, and I don't put anything past anyone. In saying that, I don't go to fights to watch them wave around the title, because I know what titles mean. They mean nothing. So at this current point, I'm saying that dump the belts. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we care about what title was on the line between Gaddy and Ward? Did we care? I didn't care at all. I didn't care at all. So the fighters are what we pay to see. I don't care what the green belt, the red belt, the purple belt, that belt with the homosexual flag on it that they wave around in the UK. Y'all know what belt I'm talking about. That European title. That's a disgusting title. That's what it is. But I don't care about those belts. I want to see the talent, and I say that respectfully for the talent. And the talent needs to understand that. All right, AB, when he fights, how many times has he been the champion? How many of these $1 million paydays he's had where he didn't even have a belt or fighting for a belt? I mean, these are things that are in our face. So, I mean, look, man, dump all the straps, because that's part of the reason why we're getting treated a certain way. If there was none of these sanctioning bodies involved, we wouldn't be dealing with this. We wouldn't be dealing with any of this, man. So dump the straps. I really don't care for them. As far as Valdez is concerned, look, we saw him look on that scale. It looked fugazi. I wanted them to put a camera on it. I wanted them to put a camera on to see what really came up. I bet you like 137 came up or something. Because the kid, and he's not a fat kid, he had a lot of muscle on. And whatever diuretic he took, it didn't do the job. You understand? So I'm really curious what they said. What was the actual weight? I want to know what the weight was. I'm curious as to what the weight was. He ain't make weight. And you're right, Stormy. I think this is a money situation. Like I said with these fighters, the money spent once they figure out what their payday is going to be. You know, I got school. This is the car note. This is the mortgage. This is mommy and the money. I'm buying mommy a new house. And you know, look, man, what the money spent. And then when somebody catches COVID or somebody pops dirty, it's like, man, that money spent. This kid is clearly thinking of payday. He needs payday. We know that. He needs that payday, so he's going to go through it knowing the risk. Now, in this instance, I'm siding with Tim Bradley because I do hope that old boy gets his head knocked off. I do hope. I do hope he gets. I do hope Bradley's correct. And y'all already know I don't trust Timmy boy. Don't trust him at all. I hope that this guy gets knocked out. I hope karma hits him in the face in the form of a fist. If the boxing gods are correct, they'll do that. But I don't know. But what I do want is justice. And that's a far cry when you have enablers. When you have people playing the race card, disrespecting us. Disrespecting the black fans. If we don't spend our hard-earned money in reference to boxing. They undervalue our dollar. They undermine what we say, our complaints. I mean, we're just totally disrespected. You see it in the comment sections, in these videos. You see it in the treatment with Bob Arum. What's going on with Bud Crawford? That's a whole nother topic. But we see it. And it's time for us to speak up on it and speak up on things like this. That's why we have these platforms. That's why we talk what we talk. We live what we talk, and I'm not going to remain silent about it because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. We're being treated unfairly as fans, man. We're being treated unfairly as supporters of the sport. I don't even like using the term fan. Y'all know that. But we're being treated unfairly. And it's time for us to start voicing up. And this guy, Valdez, he's a criminal. He needs to be put under the prison. The WBC needs to be canceled, along with everybody else who deals with this fugazi behavior, because this is disgusting. And that's all I got.
Man, you know what would be ironic? If homie that he's fighting decides, oh, you failing drug tests and they ain't doing nothing? I'm going to take this Tyranobol. I'm going to take this cocaine. I'm going to come in here on all sorts of mess and knocks Valdez the fuck out. And then they call out PEDs after. You know, that would be karma.
Yo, you want to know what's funny? We mentioned Marquez and Pacquiao, right? This is going to sound crazy, but, well, not really. I think Marquez was juiced to the gills in that fourth fight. I think he was.
Well, may have been.
I think he was because he had that bad back knee. It was bad. And I looked at that. I said, uh-oh. But what did Freddie Roach say? He said, you know, we couldn't force him to take drug testing because we didn't take it ourselves. He was talking about the Floyd thing. So you see what I'm saying about time revealing all truth? Yep. Now, I firmly believe that Manny Pacquiao was juiced to the gills a majority of his career when he started moving up in weight. I firmly believe that, although he was never caught. But the knockout streak started once Floyd became insistent on OSDT. Yeah. And people saw it, but they didn't want to say anything. But when he said, you know what, let's not force the drug testing, I think Marquez was juiced up, and he flatlined Mandy. But did it have to do with juice?
It was definitely more than urine.
Yeah, that was. Oh my God, that was crazy. Oh man, that was crazy. That was crazy. But
he's a heck of a man for letting somebody film that, wasn't he?
Yeah, man, he could have kept that to himself. I was disgusted.
I know, right? I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, man. But he, I think he was juiced up. But being at the fact that if they were insistent on drug testing, everyone would have been like, hey, man, but what happened with you and Floyd not taking drug testing? You ain't want to take that, so that's what. And Freddie said that, so they couldn't be insistent on it. And could they have paid for it? Probably. Maybe he was juiced to the gills. I don't know. But ain't that funny how life works out like that, man? That's hilarious, man.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
And all them guys that Manny knocked out, possibly juiced up, he got the biggest knockout.
The biggest one of all, flatline. Now, whether he was juiced up or not, man, he ate that because he got counted, man. He got counted bad. Man. And that wasn't a steroid punch. That was a punch he ran into and didn't see. So, but still, it's just the irony behind all of that. And like I said, man, it's never on our time. Just give it a minute. I always said, if this guy Manny is juiced up, I said, when he does get caught, it's going to get ugly. And I already knew he'd been knocked out prior. But I said, no. All of this ducking drug tests, when he do take that dirt nap, it's going to be disgusting. And lo and behold, look what happened. So give it a minute. Everything happening with Fury and all these other guys, man, it always comes out. Just give it a minute. I believe in the universe, man. I believe in it. So that's why I'm not worried about this with Fury and Wilder. I'm not worried about it. I know how this ends, man. I know how this ends. I'm good. I know how this ends. Trust me. So, because we're looking forward to the fight. The Fury fans spent time not wanting it. You notice that? So I'm looking forward to it. Everyone's looking forward to it. They're not. What does that tell you? So I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
Wow. Well, brothers, this has been a great show, man. And I thank both of you and Divine Sense for coming out and helping me do a stream where we just, could talk open topics tonight on the sport of boxing in place of the three wise men of boxing. Kurt was out there in the chat. He said that they'll be ready to go next week, which we hope that is, the case, because we had a very special show planned for you. We're doing a profile on Aaron Pryor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's just been moved to next week, next Thursday. So if everybody's able to go, we'll be, doing that. But regardless, whenever the next three wise men, that'll be the show, the profile on Aaron Pryor. So, and we got some great stuff to talk about, great footage to show, and that's what we do, is only the three wise men do. So be looking forward to that. And then here on the screen, I've got again, before we close out, the Golden Warrior, Tay Jones, is fighting next Thursday night as well in Atlanta, Georgia at the Buckhead Theater. He's going to be going in there to improve on his record, man. And we want to support the brother. And, I had told everybody that, I would talk about him tonight. I showed some clips of one of his fights, and, I'm doing my part to drum up the support for my man Tay Jones, man. I hope he's very successful, and we're looking forward to that. Salute to DT out there in that super chat. He says, appreciate the live, Stormy, Healer, and Drew Titan. And we appreciate that donation to the channel and the show, man. Really appreciate that. And Mike 202 is out there in the super chat as well. He says, thank you for answering my question, Stormy. You're welcome. And thank you for putting it to me like that. And listen, when I said on the show earlier, that's why I created that email and everything, because it was with that type of thing in mind, that people may have questions or whatever. I was always saying, use the In the Eye of the Storm email, and you know, Stormy can answer the questions and everything just like that. So hey man, you know, that's what that's for. So I hope that more people use that, because it adds to the content of what we do, because it makes our communication more direct and personal, because you have something you want to ask of me, and if I have the answers or can point you in a direction to get the answers or the discussion started, that's what I'll do. I'll do my part. So that's what it's all about. But YouTube brothers, you can drop your links in the chat so people can see where you're at, and subscribe to your channels if they're not subscribed. And then if they're not, that's ridiculous, because this chat is subscribers only, and they should be subscribed to you as well, because you guys have been around before me. So, but go ahead and give us some final thoughts, man, on tonight's show, or anything you got to say before we head out. Healer, go ahead first.
Hey, Stormy, I appreciate you having me on, man. Much love. Salute to Mighty LDBC. Y'all can check me out at thefocusballs.com if you want to take your striking games to the next level. Working on a new version of the focus ball. If you want like real good Black history, martial arts content, then head over to my channel, Healer the Mind Body Coach. Talk boxing, fitness, MMA, whatever it may be, and Black history. But yo, appreciate y'all. Enjoy your night. Peace, Drew.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And y'all know me. I'm Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Shout out to the Sensei Stormybman. You already know what it is, man. LDBC strong every Sunday. Me and Stormy gets the cooking. We have guests. Shout out to Trick Nolte. You know, you never know what we got in store. We had Roy Jones last week. Who knows what we're gonna have this week? We don't know. But if you slow, you blow. You snooze, you lose, man. But you know, just stay in contact, man. We love boxing, although boxing don't love us all the time. But we here, and we righting the wrongs, man. Salute to you, Stormy. Anytime I have time, you know, I'll come through and I'll help you hold it down, brother. You already know.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it as well, man. And let me just say this, that, you know, Trick Nolte and I will be doing an In the Eye of the Storm Saturday at 1 p.m. Central. So I'm going to nail Trick down, and we're going to have that show. It's basically a show to feature him and introduce him to everybody out there, because he does such tremendous work for us out here in the community.
Yes.
Providing us with so many personalities and sports and content. So I wanted to, you know, take that time out and feature him on the In the Eye of the Storm. So I look forward to doing that. That'll be Saturday by 1 p.m. Central, with In the Eye of the Storm, with Trick Nolte being the featured guest. So, but yeah, man, it's great. I appreciate you, Drew, for stopping by and helping out this evening. Healer, man, you know what it is. And you guys gotta check out Healer. He got some stuff over there. He throws some historical aspects of fighting arts mixed in with everything. That's some real grown folk stuff there too, as well, when he does that. So
hey, I got something I'm about to drop right now. Sorry to interrupt you, but hopefully it'll be out tomorrow. It is a documentary on so you see how we got Harriet Tubman in Jamaica. We got the Jamaican version of Harriet Tubman, and my folks just told me that she's actually our ancestral mother. So I've been doing a lot of digging, and there's some crazy stories about her. The martial arts defeat. She actually defeated the British during slavery, and they gave her her own land. So that one's coming out tomorrow. Queen Nanny.
all right, out of sight, man, out of sight. See, that's what I mean. That's what I was saying when I opened the show up, man. It's like there's so many of us out here that do things, and some of us just have a groove where we're dug in. And even if you just do only that, it is much needed, because again, variety is the spice of life, and everybody can't sing, dance, perform, be funny, have a sense of humor and all of that, but you do have gifts, and you have things that you can hang your hat on at the end of the day. And if a blacksmith was known to be that person that can make something for someone, and that's what they go to him for. That's a trade. For somebody that paints, that's what they go to them for. Somebody that builds, that's what we are as a community. And as long as we continue to do what we do the way we do, we're just going to get stronger, and we'll gain greater ground, covering more ground. So I'm just happy to be a part of it, man. Very much so. So with that, man, I'm going to say that we're going to sign off for this evening. Thanks to everybody that came by, smashed that like button for us, the super chat donations, those who subscribed, those who are thinking about it and on the fence. Don't be on the fence. Go ahead, take that dive over in there and become a subscriber to the channel, because there's nothing but good stuff awaiting for you here. And again, salute to my man Divine Sense Boxing, who was here earlier, Drew Titan, the healer, mind body coach. I appreciate you, brothers. Everybody out here, we're going to get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great weekend. Don't bother with them fights. You know that they ain't worth it. That guy, he's a cheater. Don't even think about that. Think about something else. You got Joshua coming up pretty soon in a couple of weeks with Usyk, and we'll be talking about that as we get closer to it. So we out of here. Peace to everybody. Peace.
Peace. Peace.
If you guys want to hang tight for a moment, I'll be right with you.
Yeah, I got to run. I got to do something with my daughter real quick.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Talk to you in a minute.
Thanks.